So you agree with Roger Waters from Pink
We don't need
Floyd?
no education. I would change it to we don't need no schooling, because I think education's a wonderful thing, but I think schooling all too often is just babysitting and conditioning to behave in a certain way that is approved by society and not actually educating. I think you can get a far better education by going elsewhere.
And to make it personal, your parents were smart enough not to force you through the public education machine. You are a product of unschooling.
Yes.
Explain to people what the hell that is.
So my parents both had a very unpleasant time in school, and when they had children, they said, we really don't want to subject our kids to that. And they did a lot of research, and there's this philosophy called unschooling, which was founded by a guy named John Holt, who is an excellent writer and researcher and educator, and everyone should read his books if they haven't. But the idea is basically that children are natural learners, and you can observe this if you've ever been around children before they get to school age, like 5 and under. Kids absorb knowledge like a sponge. They're interested in everything. They're fascinated. They'll like ask a 4-year-old boy about dinosaurs, and you'll be there for hours, hearing more than you ever wanted to hear about dinosaurs, because they love learning. And if you just let them explore their interests and live their life in the world, they will learn a lot, and they'll learn what they need to learn, and they'll learn more than they will if you stick them in a windowless room for 8 hours a day and say, you're going to study math, and you're going to study spelling, and you're going to study geography. And you're going not only are you going to study these things, you're going to keep to a rigid timetable that is determined by your biological age, which really is meaningless because everybody develops at a different rate. Everybody's brain develops at a different rate. Just sticking kids at the same age together and expecting them all to be in the same place at the same time completely ignores the reality of how humans develop.
So how did that work out for you? Tell me how this method, this theoretical method that kids can figure stuff out. Where did it take you?
So I didn't attend school at all until I was 18 and I went to college. And I spent my time reading a lot. I did some math workbooks because I wanted to be good at math because I was interested in it, and also because I wanted to be able to pass the SAT and get into college. I read a lot of history. I read a lot of other things that I was interested in. I studied Latin in high school. And at some point I decided I wanted to go to college and get an education there. So I did. And I got good scores on the SAT. I got good grades in college. After I finished in college, I went to music school and studied music for a while. And after I did that, I went to graduate school and studied economics. And now that led me to where I am here. But I never felt behind. I never felt like I was missing out on anything. I always had all the knowledge I needed. And the most important thing is that I learned how to teach myself things. So if I ever ran into an area where I felt like I was lacking or I needed to catch up, which didn't happen often, I knew how. I'd go to the library, get a book before the internet, or on the internet, go find a site, learn it in a week, and then I'm caught up, And I think you'll find things that kids spend years studying in primary school, elementary school. If you give them time until they're ready, if you wait for their brains and their interest and their intuition to be ready for it, they can pick it up in a flash. A couple days, they got it. There's no reason to force a kid who's 6 years old to learn to read for 2 years, when if you let them wait till they're 8, they can learn to read in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That used to be sort of a core American ethos, and it just the sort of entrepreneurial ability to figure stuff out and work through a problem.